David, what's up, man? Glad to be sitting in this hotel room with you.
Oh, I'm glad to have you here, man.
It's an honor. I know you've been busy. This is well, I think we're wrapping up your podcast tour now, right?
It is. You are the last one I'm doing, man. I'm over this shit.
Yeah, how's it been? Has it been just insane with the book launch or what?
You know what? It's been overwhelming for me. People may think that I'm this extrovert guy now because I've been trying to get this book out there, but out of everybody with, like with their books, I think I probably took on the least amount of podcasts. I think we turned down over 200 podcasts. I was getting them left and right, and I'm like, you know what, man, if you buy the book, you buy it. If not, I don't give a shit. I'm not gonna be out here trying to pump this book on people, and people oversell themselves too much, I think, in life, and that's just not me, man. If you like it and you hear about me through word of mouth, Merry Christmas. If not, man, so be it, man. You just don't hear about me.
I think that's probably, we were talking about this earlier, but I think that's a lot of the reason that you and your message and everything you're sharing resonates so well with people, because it is real, right? It doesn't feel fabricated, and we live in a society where everything from social media and all the filters people are running things through is like, it's so fake that it's just a turnoff. And so for somebody to come along who actually deals with like real life stuff and then shares that, I think is really resonates well with people.
Well, I appreciate that, man, but that's exactly who I am. That's what I'm not about. People go, hey, how come you don't post more?
Mm-hmm.
I post like once a week, if that, because that's not me.
Right.
I'm not trying to gain some stardom or some fame or some shit. I'm out here trying to give you what I learned in my life, and I didn't learn all that stuff, so I can't post every single day. So, I don't have a lot of things to say. If I have nothing to say, I'm not going to say something.
Right.
So if I have something to say, I'm going to bring it up to your attention. I'll say something that might resonate with you or might not. So, yeah, I'm all about being authentic to who I am.
I thought it was fascinating that you don't follow anybody either.
Right.
That's pretty interesting.
So the big reason behind that is I'm not on social media. So I post things to the masses. If you want to hear what I have to say, here it is. This is what I'm saying. But I'm not on there seeing how Tom, Dick, and Harry are doing.
Right.
I spend my time basically trying to focus on how to better myself to continue on my journey to be a better person in life. And all that time for me is wasted time. So there's no fluff in my life, man. Every second of the day is being utilized to become a better human being.
Do you think there's, I don't know if balance is the right word, but do you think there is a point in time where you can sit back and say, let me take this in a little bit?
I, for a long time, was probably the most unbalanced motherfucker on the planet Earth. And I took great pride in that.
Yeah.
It was on purpose. It was on purpose because I knew for me to get to where I wanted to go, where I had to go, there could be no balance. There could be no, 8 hours a day I do this and then
no 9 to 5. Right?
No. It had to be, I'm such in a fucked up spot in my life, I'm such in a dark place that if I don't dedicate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 a year to becoming a better human being, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And so the people who were in my family had to realize, hey, I'm sorry that you may think I'm neglecting you right now, but if I don't fix myself, I won't be good for anybody. So yeah, I became very unbalanced for a long time. Balance is important, but you have to first go to war with yourself. You got to figure out what you're about and be proud of who you are before you start to get that teeter-totter nice and balanced out. So
yeah, that makes sense. I think if I'm hearing you right, what I hear is that in order to create maybe some of that balance down the road, you have to get a foundation under you.
That's right.
Right? If you don't have that foundational knowledge of who you are and how you show up and what you're capable of, yeah, it's pretty hard to walk in any sort of balance between work and career and family and all the other things that you have going on.
That's right. So if you read my book and you see what goes on, you'll see how many mistakes I make along the way, trying to find balance, trying to find peace in myself, and I fucked myself all up. I'm having relationships. I'm having, I get a girl, knocked up. She's pregnant. I'm in the worst spot of my life. I don't have a real job. I'm going through SEAL training. I haven't graduated SEAL training. I'm going back through SEAL training for the third time, and now I have a girl that's pregnant. I'm all over the fucking place. I have no money. I have nothing. And I'm establishing a life with a family, and I'm all fucked up. So, a lot of us get in situations where we start establishing all these different things and pop up all these different pop-up boxes, and our life is fucked. Because we haven't fixed ourselves. Until you fix yourself, don't start another journey before you finish your own journey first. Or not finish it, but at least get a good, foot start into it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think that's a lot of guys actually deal with that, because what we've been told is our responsibility as men is that we've got to take care of other people, right? We've got our team, we've got our family, we've got our employees, we've got everybody else that we have to take care of, and then all of ourselves goes by the wayside. But you can't really sustain that for any measurable amount of time if you don't have yourself taken care of.
100%, man. And I fell into that several times, into that whole man thing. Get a family, do this, do that, and I'm jacked up. I'm insecure. I have all kind of issues going on, so I'm bringing all these issues into a family, and all that does is destroy your family. If you are not the man of your house, like a real man of your house, not like I'm a man because you have a cock and the balls, no, motherfucker. That ain't a man. I'm sorry, a man has his shit wired tight, and I wasn't that guy. I thought because God made me a man because I pissed standing up that I'm a man. No, that ain't how it works, man. Yeah, and I realized that. I realized a whole bunch of times, man. God may have given me the wrong shit. I gotta earn something, man. So I had to go back to that man mentality and start to earn that.
Yeah, it's interesting because I read part of your book and then I listened to a lot of it, and I got to tell you, I put a lot of miles on the trail to your words. So yeah, not as many as you do, but more than I have in the past. So I do appreciate that. But I was really fascinated towards the end of the book because you talk about some health issues that you were dealing with, and through your stretching regimen. And the thing that blew me away about that is not that you were like, okay, I'm going to stretch, for half an hour or an hour in the morning, you get worked out. It was like, I'm 6 hours a day, 12 hours a day of stretching to get yourself fixed so you can get back in the fight.
Yes. So I want to show you something I haven't shown anybody before.
Oh no, I don't know if we...
No, I'm not going to show you none of that stuff. So you see these little spots right here in my body?
Yeah.
You see this?
Yep.
So basically, everybody wonders what happened.
Right.
These are very small spots. I look like a leopard.
All over.
They were all over my body.
Really?
So just to give you some insight. So I've talked about it on several podcasts, but I haven't shown anybody like my leopard skin and what happened. So I can take off I can show you all kind of nastiness, man, but I'm not going to do that. I can show you my ears, and I'll show you one thing right now. This part right here, you see this little dry spot in my ear?
Oh, yeah.
And if I were to dig in my ear right now, nothing but shit would come out.
Really?
A whole bunch of crust. I'm taking you there. Why? This is a man's show.
That's right.
So we're going to go there.
Let's go there.
Okay, we're going to go there. So I don't talk about it on most shows, but what happened was over a period of time of me literally trying to transform myself. And a guy asked me a question yesterday, man. Am I paying now physically for what I put myself through? I said, yeah, I am. But what he doesn't understand was when I was 297 pounds and I was a piece of shit and I wasn't going anywhere in life, I asked myself that question before I decided to put myself through hell.
Are you willing to do it, or are you willing to pay the price?
Am I willing to do it, and I'm willing to pay the price after I fucked myself up? 'Cause I knew for me to get to where I wanted to go, I didn't have the ability. The ability was not there. So I knew I was going to break myself off to do it. Some people are born with this great talent. I wasn't smart. I wasn't some physical specimen. I wasn't any of that stuff. So I knew for me to go through all of this shit, at the end of it was going to be a broken man. So I did it, and in the process of doing it, I knew all along the way, I'm going to be fucked up one day. And that time came. That time came. And in that book, that psoas muscle I'm talking about,
right,
literally for me being in that fight or flight mode and pushing way beyond what I thought was even possible. I kept on finding new limits as I was going on this journey. So, but in doing that, you're breaking your body down tremendously.
Sure, yeah.
So what happened to me was that psoas muscle attached to your lower body, your upper body. Mine became so fucking tight that it literally left probably, I would say, baseball-sized lumps on my hip. And so these are my muscles that just tightened up to my hip flexors.
And it was just contracting right there?
Just contracting right here. So I had two fucking lumps like this were right here. And no one knew what the fuck they were. And on the back of my head, I had a big lump on it. And you can kind of see it now.
Oh, right, yeah, I can.
But it used to be an extra 1.5 inches.
Really?
So this is where my sickness was coming from. So the doctors give me all kind of fucking medication, and slowly but surely I kept on getting worse and worse and worse.
Because you were going through the same type of training at this point, or were you hung up at this point?
So at this time, I'd already done like 19 years in the military.
Yeah.
I had done all these ultra races and all this other shit. So I had gone through the gamut. But no one knew that every time I got to the start line of an ultra race, I was fucking broken at the start line. So I didn't go to this ultra race like, oh, I'm healthy, I'm ready to go, I'm all juiced
you
up.
Feeling awesome.
No, I went to start line of every damn race I ever did broken. A lot of times I went to start line with stress fractures, compression tape on. If you look at me in that bad water tape, my first bad water, you can see at the end of, at the end of bad water, there's a video before I get interviewed, and they're taking off the compression tape. I had that in the start line of the damn race.
You started with
so
that
my
stuff.
mentality was animalistic. It was something that it was barbarian type of like a mentality. So, but that cost me. It cost me a lot. But and that's what happened to my body. My body slowly started to literally choke itself out. So I lost 2 inches of my height due to that psoas muscle that's attached to your T12. Just gripping down. So what you see here, all these little leopard spots on my body, is basically, as I started opening my body back up, infection and shit started coming out everywhere. So I got to the point, and I hid it from the SEAL teams for a long time. The last 2 years as a Navy SEAL, I couldn't Valsalva, which is clearing your ears to go underwater.
Yeah, that depth was probably tough.
But luckily, we were diving Draeger systems, so you only go like 15, 20 feet. But still, at 15, 20 feet, you still got to equalize and get your Valsalva. So I was literally just busting my eardrums out to go down because all that earwax that's now coming up, I got so tight, my traps and everything shut off my eustachian tubes. So whenever the doctors would go, they'd go, hey, doc, I cannot clear my ears. They would go in and check my eardrum, and they'd be like, you have the cleanest ears I've ever seen in my life. You don't have any earwax. Why? The shit was trapped and cut off. So the second I opened all this shit up, and my fiance would tell you it's the grossest fucking shit, it just comes out like for 2.5 years now.
Because it's been backed up in there.
It's just, it's a sick, and then the leper spot, so I open something up, and infection. It's something that I could write a whole fucking book about. But now after 5 years of doing this shit, I am in the best shape of my entire life because my body, even going into SEAL training, because my childhood was so messed up.
Yeah.
And that psoas muscle starts to get tight then, that I went into SEAL training really out of shape, or as far as my health.
Sure.
And I would tape it up. My mentality was tape it up, man. I just taped it up and kept on going in it. And I paid the man, but it was worth it.
So yeah, well, that's what I was going to ask you. Was it worth it? Obviously, it was. You're saying that is now, but what makes it worth it?
When you look in that mirror for so long and you're lying to yourself and you're lying to people, because I grew up in such a hostile environment for my dad beating the shit out of me. When you don't know right from wrong and you're just getting the shit kicked out of you because your dad's an alcoholic and all he does is beat you to death because that's what he does. Mm-hmm. And as a kid, you don't know up from down, right from left, right and wrong. And you grow up in this very misguided way of thinking. All you want to do is change your circumstances. And in that circumstances, your mom is in that also. So your mom, who's a good woman, you see her start to change. She starts to get lost in the violence of my father. So now you're in this hellhole, and this is where you live, and this is where you exist. So now to find myself, there was no mentors for me. There was no one that said, hey, this is how you do this. You know, I pretty much skipped all of school. I cheated all through school. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. It was like having a kid and putting that motherfucker in the sewer and saying, I hope you fucking come out one day. That was my mentality. So I had to literally talk about, a man. I had to make a man in what I thought a man was supposed to be in my mind. I created where I thought a man was supposed to be in my mind. And that's what I started doing. So I looked at myself in the mirror, and when I looked at myself in the mirror, man, I wasn't proud of who I was. And I kept on backsliding. And I made the decision When I was 297 pounds, I gained 125 pounds. I was 175 to 297. Had left the military, left the Air Force, and I was working for Ecolab, making $1,000 a month. I was at the bottom of the fucking barrel. I'd become exactly what life had made me, and what I had made me too. I said, I'm gonna die trying. I don't give a fuck what it does to me. I don't give a fuck if I break myself off. I don't care if I lose legs. I don't care if I have stretch. I don't care what it is. I don't care how much pain I go through. I don't care, but this reflection in the mirror will change, or I will die trying. I will die. I will not look at this guy in the mirror anymore, because I can lie to you right now. I go back to that mirror every fucking night, and I usually shave my head almost every damn night, and I gotta sit there for fucking 15 minutes and look at myself in the mirror. And that reflection is telling me every fucking thing I'm not. And it starts to, some of us are allowed to go away from that. I was haunted. Every day, 24 hours a fucking day, this voice would be in my head. Hey, motherfucker, you ain't shit. This is what you're gonna be the rest of your life, man. To the point I said, you know what? I'm gonna break myself off, man, trying to fix this person. So that's why it's worth it, because now sitting in front of you today, I earned the right to be broken. And people go, man, what does that mean? Every scar, every wound, every broken bone, every issue I had, even all these fucking little marks come on my body, it comes from sacrifice, trying to become someone. And I'm not saying do what I did. My life took me down a journey that almost forced me to propel myself to where I went. And it was worth it.